welcome to today's segment of Quick Morning, where we delve into the latest news and updates from around the country and across the world to set the tone for your day. From tracking PM Modi and President Trump talks over peace to Israel, allowing Palestinians to return back to their homeland. We'll get you all the details in our lineup for this morning. Let's get started. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump on Monday vowed to work towards a trusted partnership, with a focus on boosting India-US cooperation in areas of trade, energy and defense in their first phone conversation since the American leader's inauguration last week. Modi and Trump exchanged views on global issues, including the situation in West Asia and Ukraine, and reiterated their commitment to work together for promoting global peace, prosperity and security, according to an Indian readout. India and China on Monday announced a series of measures to rebuild ties, including resuming the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra in the summer this year and agreeing in principle to restore direct flights in a significant move aimed at normalizing their relations after completing the disengagement of troops in eastern Ladakh. The decisions were announced after Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri held wide-ranging talks with Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong in Beijing. Haryana Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini on Monday rubbished Delhi AAP's claim that the ruling BJP in the state is intentionally draining industrial waste into the Yamuna that supplies water to the national capital. Saini also hit out at the Aam Aadmi Party national convener and former Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, saying it has become his habit to level baseless allegations and blame others.
एक कहावत है कि थूको और भागो, ये अगर कहीं देखने को मिलता है तो ये केजरीवाल में देखने को मिलता है। और दिल्ली के लोगों को 10 सालों में जब वो पानी का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ही ठीक नहीं कर पाए, खड़ा होकर के तो मंच पे बोल दिया कि मैं फ्री पानी दूंगा, हर घर में दूंगा और इतना दूंगा। आज भी 10 सालों में गंदा पानी पीने को मजबूर दिल्ली के लोग हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि सिस्टम नहीं बना इसके पास।
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar on Monday said illegal migrants pose a security threat to the country, asserting that such people can never get wedded to our nationalism. Addressing a group of Rajya Sabha interns, Dhankar said such people are a threat to India's democracy because they are trying to influence the electoral system.
We have to see the challenges. And challenge to the nation is millions of illegal migrants are living in our land. Millions. Is it not a challenge to our sovereignty? Such kind of people will never be wedded to our nationalism. They use our resources of health, education and other facilities. They engage in jobs meant for our people. I expect everyone in the government to take a severe look at this.
Nearly a year after his controversial racist remark on India's diversity sparked political slugfest, Chairman of Indian Overseas Congress Sam Pitroda has once again found himself in soup. As he reflected upon illegal migrants in the country, Pitroda, a close aide of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, advocated for illegal migrants to settle in India and criticized the centre for its failure.
हुआ तो हुआ कहने वाले सैम पित्रोदा जी ने एक और अपना ज्ञान साझा किया है। वो कहते हैं कि माइग्रेशन, इमिग्रेशन पे क्यों बोलना है। कोई अवैध बांग्लादेशी देश में घुसपैठ करके आ जाए तो वी मस्ट शेयर, हमें दिल खुला रखना चाहिए, उनको इंक्लूड करना चाहिए। तो क्या हुआ अगर वो अवैध रूप से आते हैं, बांग्लादेशी आए, उस पर कुछ नहीं बोलना चाहिए। अवैध बांग्लादेशियों को रेड कारपेट देना चाहिए। यही कांग्रेस का बांग्लादेशी रोहिंग्या प्रेम है। और कांग्रेस का ही नहीं, आम आदमी पार्टी, कांग्रेस, MIM, समाजवादी, ये सब का कंपटीशन चल रहा है।
Sanatana Dharm Sansad, convened by spiritual leader Devki Nandan Thakurji on Monday at the Mahakumbh, put forth the groundwork for the constitution of the Sanatan Board. Various Hindu religious leaders attending the event have raised the demand for the formation of the Sanatan Board.
वक्फ बोर्ड अगर है तो हिंदुओं को, सनातनियों को सनातन बोर्ड सरकार गिफ्ट में देगी।
The recent surge in cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome in Pune has raised growing concern among health officials and residents. With over 100 reported cases in the city and surrounding areas, the neurological disorder has prompted the Pune administration to take immediate action to ensure proper care for those affected. In response to this worrying trend, the city has arranged for free treatment at two key healthcare facilities, the YCM Hospital in Pimpri Chinchwad and Kamla Nehru Hospital in Pune. At the Kamla Nehru Hospital, a dedicated 45-bed ward has been set up to specifically care for the GBS patients. The ward has been segregated into separate sections for male and female patients, each with 15 beds. Additionally, a 15-bed ICU has been established to treat the critical cases of the syndrome. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has addressed the controversy of surrounding the upcoming historical drama Chhawa. Starring Vicky Kaushal, the film based on the life of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj has faced criticism for certain scenes deemed to distort history. Fadnavis urged filmmakers to balance creativity with historical accuracy. The controversy intensified after Maharashtra Minister Uday Samant objected to a scene of Sambhaji Maharaj dancing, calling for its removal. He warned that the film should not be released if the objections were not addressed. A recent controversy has erupted over the demolitions in Bet Dwarka, with AIMIM President Asaduddin Owaisi claiming that the land is Waqf property. However, the matter is currently sub judice and the debate continues on whether the demolitions were carried out on a Qabristan or an additional structure. Owaisi has made statements on social media asserting that the land is Waqf property. A tragic incident occurred in the Chamundeshwari Nagar, Hubli, where a husband committed suicide. Allegedly due to harassment by his wife, the deceased, identified as Peter, left behind a note which revealed the distressing circumstances leading to his death. The police reported that Peter was employed at a private company and had been experiencing frequent quarrels with his wife Pinky. In the days leading up to his death, the incident falls under the jurisdiction of the Ashok Nagar police station. The police are investigating the matter and further details are awaited. We are tracking the top business stories for the day. We bring you the latest updates on India's economic landscape. From the Finance Ministry announcing the initiation of the selection process for the next chief of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, to stock markets witnessing a major hit after key indices fell to their lowest levels. Stay tuned as we delve into the key highlights shaping the business world today. Nvidia Corporation has recorded the largest single-day market value loss in the US stock market history, erasing $465 billion as investor concerns over the Chinese AI startup DeepSeek rocked the semiconductor giant. Nvidia shares plummeted as much as 13% on Monday, surpassing its previous record decline of $279 billion in September. The decline follows the rise of DeepSeek has sparked fears of an industry-wide shift. DeepSeek's latest offering, released last week, has drawn comparisons to products from OpenAI and Meta Platforms Inc., delivering competitive performance at a fraction of the cost. The Reserve Bank of India on Monday has announced a series of measures aimed at injecting liquidity into the banking system to address the ongoing cash shortages that have increased short-term borrowing rates. These initiatives are anticipated to collectively infuse approximately rupees 1.5 trillion into the financial system. The RBI strategy includes purchasing government bonds worth rupees 600 billion in 3 tranches and conducting a 56-day variable rate repo auction of rupees 500 billion scheduled for February 7th. Additionally, a USD INR swap auction of $5 billion with a 6-month maturity is planned for January 31st. The Finance Ministry has announced the initiation of the selection process for the next chief of the Securities and Exchange Board of India, or SEBI. As the current chief, Madhavi Puri Buch, nears the end of her term on January 28, Buch, who became SEBI's first female chief in March 2022, faced challenges during her tenure, including allegations of conflict of interest. Madhavi Puri Buch's tenure at SEBI was marked by significant regulatory scrutiny, particularly during the Adani Group controversy. ITC Hotels Limited has received approval from the National Stock Exchange of India Limited and BSE Limited for the listing and trading of its equity shares. Effective January 29, 2025, this announcement comes via an exchange filing, marking the final steps in the company's demerger from its parent ITC Limited. ITC Hotels officially became a separate entity from ITC Limited on January 1, 2025. Following the completion of its demerger, now, as part of the transition, ITC Hotels filing necessary applications with the NSE and BSE to secure approval for its listing, in line with ITC's original timeline to list the demerged hotel business within 60 days of receiving approval from the National Company Law Tribunal, which occurred on December 16, 2024. The stock market took a major hit on Monday as key indices fell to their lowest levels in over 7 months. Erasing rupees 9.28 lakh crore in investor wealth, the market cap of BSE-listed firms dropped sharply, closing at $4.75 trillion after a notable plunge of rupees 9.2 lakh crore. On the BSE, the 30-share index fell 1.08%, losing 824.29 points to close at 75,366.17, a level unseen since June 2024. At its lowest point during the day, the index was down 922.87 points, reaching 75,267.59. Moving on to our international segment, where we're tracking the ground pulse of some of the biggest global headlines. Today, we delve into significant developments from around the world, from Vice President J.D. Vance visiting hurricane-struck Damascus for the first time to visa appointments at the U.S. Embassy in Colombia being cancelled following a dispute over deportation flights from U.S. Stay tuned as we unravel the latest updates shaping the global landscape. Vice President J.D. Vance made his first official domestic visit near the Virginia-Tennessee border in Damascus. Since the last fall of Hurricane Helene killed more than 200 people and caused damage in a series of states. His visit as a vice president comes after he arrived in Damascus, Virginia, as a senator and had promised to come back after swearing in. While addressing the crowd, he pledged the federal government being on public side and vowed a fast recovery as the city remains devastated due to the major storm.
Let me just leave you with one final thought. I know that a lot of the people watching on the local news, look, this is a part of our country, Appalachian, Virginia, that has been ignored and left behind for decades, for generations in this country. Again, we're never going to be perfect. But I promise you that this administration will not forget you. We love you, we're rooting for you, and we want to be part of this incredible recovery here in Southwest Virginia.
Israeli President Isaac Herzog visited the United Nations on International Holocaust Memorial Day. He met with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and called on all nations to use their influence to free the remaining hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Isaac Herzog made the appeal in memory of the victims of the Holocaust. Federal law enforcement officials announced that 8 people were arrested for operating a criminal network that illegally smuggled various goods through the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach with counterfeit seals. Acting U.S. Attorney Joe McNally informed that the members of the scheme recruited truck drivers to take sealed containers and filling them with contraband items which would later be reapplied with counterfeit seals and sent to CBP for inspection.
9 defendants charged in the indictment participated in a wide-ranging scheme to circumvent inspections at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. The scheme involved logistics companies, warehouse owners, and corrupt truckers.
Visa appointments at the U.S. Embassy in Colombia were cancelled following a dispute over deportation flights from the U.S. that nearly turned into a costly trade war between the two countries. Dozens of Colombians showed up outside the U.S. Embassy in Bogota and were handed letters by local staff that said their appointments had been cancelled. Tensions between Colombia and the United States escalated after President Gustavo Petro wrote on X saying he would not allow 2 U.S. Air Force planes carrying Colombian deportees to land in the country. He said Colombia would only accept deportation flights, but the United States had established protocols that ensure the dignified treatment of the expelled migrants. After reports of possible immigration arrests in Paterson, New Jersey, local officials held a news conference to remind immigrants to know their rights and not give in to fear. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said it made 956 arrests nationwide. The arrests come after President Trump's promise of migration crackdown.
We need to know our rights. If ICE comes to your home, you are not obligated to open the door unless they have a signed warrant from a judge. Ask them to slide it under the door, and without a judicial warrant, you can refuse entry. You have the right to remain silent. If approached, you do not have to answer questions about your immigration status or where you were born.
A huge crowd was seen returning back to the heavily destroyed north of the Gaza Strip for the first time after Israel finally allowed their movement following ceasefire deal. Israel's decision comes after the opening GOT delayed for 2 days over a dispute between Hamas and Israel, as the terrorist group had changed the order of the hostages released in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians. After mediators resolved the dispute overnight, Hamas hailed the return as a victory and declared it as a failure and defeat for Israel, while Palestinians sheltering in the squalid tent camps called the return a feeling of mix of pain and joy, as the 15-month war completely destroyed their homeland. Dozens of Congolese army soldiers fled into the Rwandan border town of Rubavu and surrendered their weapons after rebels announced the city of Goma's capture. While the ongoing conflict was condemned by the DRC foreign minister, Rwanda blamed Congo government for armed groups' activities on its soil. The reason of the conflict remains about 100 armed groups who have been vying for a foothold in the mineral-rich region, creating one of the world's largest humanitarian crises.
On the issue of territorial integrity, we agree DRC's territorial integrity matters, but Rwanda's territorial integrity is also very important. For the last 3 decades, instability, attacks, infiltration, sharing, and loss of life due to armed groups' activities on Rwandan territory have come singularly from across the border from DRC.
South Korea plunged into political turmoil after Yoon faced rebellion charges punishable by death penalty or life prison. While the governing party questioned prosecutors for his wrong indictment, the opposition hailed Seoul court's decision. The impeached jailed president had been holed up in his presidential compound after issuing a shocking martial law decree last month, which led to major protests by pro- and anti-Yoon forces. 6 planets, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, were spotted in the night skies over Italy in a planetary alignment. The great distances between the planets when they were not visible together in a single image but could be located individually and in smaller groups. The astronomical link-up is very common and can happen at least every year, depending on the number of planets. A similar parade took place last June, but only 2 planets could be seen without any special equipment. Alright viewers, it's time to dive into the world of sports with our segment dedicated to all the action-packed highlights and exciting matchups. Today, we're bringing the latest updates from the ICC Awards, where Jasprit Bumrah was chosen the Men's Test Cricketer of the Year, while big-hitting batter Smriti Mandhana bagged the women's honour. Stay tuned as we unravel the story and keep listening to all the buzz right here on our sports segment. Pace spearhead Jasprit Bumrah was chosen for the Men's Test Cricketer of the Year, while big-hitting batter Smriti Mandhana bagged the women's honour in the ODI format as Indian cricketers dominated the ICC individual awards that were rolled out. ICC announced 3 more awardees from its annual list this afternoon, continuing a process that started on Friday. The final 2 honours, the Men's and Women's Cricketer of the Year, will be revealed on Tuesday. And Bumrah is in contention to bag a double after having been named in the Test Team of the Year. Pakistan finished the WTC 2023-25 cycle at the bottom of the points table with a 120-run loss at the hands of the West Indies in the second and final test. Chasing 254 runs to seal the series 2-0, the hosts were bundled out for just 133 runs, losing their 6 wickets on the third day for just 57 more runs. The Caribbean side had ended the third day on a high with Babar Azam's wicket just before the stumps and didn't need much to sweat on the third morning. Unbeaten overnight batters Saud Shakil and Kashif Ali were dismissed within the first 8 balls of the day. The 2-match test series between Pakistan and West Indies ended in a 1-1 draw, with the Caribbean team winning the second match by 120 runs in Multan. West Indies' spin trio Jomel Warrican, Kevin Sinclair and Gudakesh Moti shared all the 10 wickets. With their effort, the series created an all-time record as the spinners ended up picking 69 of the 80 available wickets, an all-time record in a 2-match test series. Left-arm spinner Warrican finished with yet another 5-wicket haul, taking his series tally to 19 wickets. He was also named man of the series for his all-round effort, scoring 85 runs with the bat in 4 innings. The ICC said that the ticket sales for the Pakistan leg of the next month's Champions Trophy will begin despite the stadium renovation work in the host nation is yet to be completed. The venues at Karachi, Lahore and Rawalpindi are still getting readied as a January 30th deadline looms for the handover of the stadiums to the ICC. This edition of the Champions Trophy is scheduled to be held across Pakistan and Dubai from February 19th. Smriti Mandhana was India's standout performer in ODIs in 2024 and she's been adjudged the ICC Women's ODI Cricketer of the Year. Mandhana rose to the challenge against tougher opponents last year and her performances have not gone unnoticed. This is the second time Smriti Mandhana has won the ICC's ODI Women Cricketer of the Year award. She defeated Sri Lanka's Chamari Attapattu, Australia's Annabel Sutherland and South Africa's Laura Volva to win the award. KL Rahul has been named in Karnataka's 17-member squad for their final league match of the Ranji Trophy Elite Group C. Karnataka will take on table topper Haryana on January 30th at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. Rahul had missed the previous game against Punjab due to an elbow injury, but is fit and will practice with the team. It will be KL Rahul's first appearance for Karnataka in the Ranji Trophy since appearing against Bengal in Kolkata in 2020. His last domestic first-class appearance came during the Tulip Trophy in September last year when he turned out for India A in a losing cause. England have announced their playing 11 for the third T20 international of the 5-match series against India. The match will be played at the Niranjan Shah Stadium in Rajkot and the visitors are in a must-win situation, having lost the first 2 matches of the series. Even then, the team management has backed the same playing 11 from the second T20 international to deliver. Their skipper, Jos Buttler, is the only batter to score runs in both the matches so far. He is the leading run scorer of the series with 113 runs at an average of 56.5 and a strike rate of 152.7 with 10 fours and 5 sixes. Tracking the buzz, it's time to delve into the world of entertainment. Today we bring you the highlights from the Bangkok where sound of firecrackers, drums and cymbals resounded as a troupe of Thai dragon dancers energetically announced the approach of the Lunar New Year. This and more as we unravel all the latest updates from the entertainment industry this morning. Olivia Colman and John Lithgow premiered the LGBTQ+ themed film Jimpa at Sundance. The film is a semi-autobiographical drama following the story of its director, Australian Sophie Hyde, and her father, the Jimpa of the title. While praising Olivia's performance, Lithgow highlighted her acting skills.
A lot about what it's like to work with Sophie, but the film tells you far more. Because Olivia plays Sophie, and she's a filmmaker, and you see her making a film. And people will now share the experience I had working with Sophie Hyde.
Bangkok resounded to the sound of firecrackers, drums and cymbals as a troupe of Thai dragon dancers energetically announced the approach of the Lunar New Year. The colourful crew drew out a large crowd of the mainly foreign onlookers from the Khao San Roads, cafes, bars and hotels to watch the entertainment.
Really amazing here. It's a colorful impression is nice music, and I've never seen something like that before. So, yeah, it's amazing to see. Something new for me. It never happened in my country, so I like it.
Grant Ellis is ready for TV viewers to watch his quest for love on ABC's The Bachelor. The 29th season of the reality dating show begins on Monday on ABC in US. While teasing his reality show's new season, he praised women who come up with stunts for going out of the box to show their personality.
Given the circumstances, it's very impressive. Now, in the real world, if somebody brought a llama to me, I don't know how I would feel, but given the circumstances, it's really impressive. It's really impressive how creative they were and how they went out of their way to show their person.
Jennifer Lopez premiered her upcoming musical drama Kiss of the Spider Woman. At the Sundance Film Festival, Lopez, who stars in and executive produced the film, said there is a big difference when you have studio money behind you compared to working on a film with smaller budget. She expressed her excitement over the public's reaction to the film.
Yeah, I mean, it has been. I mean, it's been a challenging year for some of us, but we're here, and I'm so excited for people to see this film. I couldn't be prouder and to stand next to Bill and Tona and Diego in this movie, and I think it's what the world really kind of needs right now. It's a story about love, and it's about accepting people for who they are and how love can kind of cure any divide. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for people to see it.
And that's a wrap for today's segment of Quick Morning. Don't go anywhere, viewers. We'll be right back tracking the top headlines and the biggest stories from across the globe, only on Republic TV.